morning. How are you today? Another car vlog. I was meditating on a number of Psalms again today. 84, 85, 86, 87. 88 is a very gloomy Psalm. But then I read 89, or half of it. So about 4 or 5 Psalms I meditated on these wonderful Psalms. Psalm 84 talks about the love of the psalmist for God's house. I'd rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God. I'd rather spend a day in the Lord's house compared to 1,000 days elsewhere or in the tents of the wicked. And I felt that yesterday morning because I went to church before 7 o'clock in the morning. I spent about an hour. I had another breakfast, another drink because it was too early. But I think just after 7:30, I think. I opened the church door and sat before the Lord for half an hour or so before the multimedia unit, the members came to church or arrived in church. And I had this rhema about in 1 Chronicles 10 verses 13 and 14. Why did King Saul die? In fact, his sons, I think 3 of his sons died with him on the day of battle when King Saul died. And David ascended to the throne, first in Hebron, kingdom of Judah, and then he reunited the 10 tribes, northern tribes, 7.5 years after that. So it was quite a struggle for King David. But coming back to King Saul, 1 Chronicles chapter 10 tells us 2 reasons why King Saul died. First, he disobeyed the commandment of the Lord by the word of the Lord. So he disobeyed God by the word of the Lord. That could be a reference to the word of the Lord through Samuel, asking him to slay the Amalekites, everything as korban or sacrifice to the Lord, which he only obeyed halfway. So really for a king or a servant of the Lord, it is absolutely essential that our obedience is absolute. Our obedience to the Lord's word or the word of the Lord is absolute. It is not optional. We cannot obey God halfway or 90% of the times, especially if we are given the revelation of His word or the knowledge of God's word. And around 6 o'clock this morning, suddenly I remember the date, 23rd, because I jotted down in the Bible verses. That today is the day 18 years ago, exactly 18 years ago, I was awarded the Doctor of Philosophy in Biblical Studies from the Otago University, or University of Otago in Dunedin, New Zealand. I did not attend the graduation on the 23rd of August 2003, so my degree was awarded in absentia. I was already pastoring my home church, Likas Church, January 2003. The examination process took more than 4 months, and graduation I had to wait another 3 months. But in hindsight, it was pretty quick. Praise be to God. So when I jotted down the date, as I normally do, I think when the Lord speaks to me, when I was reading, especially if it's an old Bible, I like to write down the date. So I wrote down 23rd of August 2021, and I reflected on my life as a doctor, with the title of a doctor for the past 18 years. 6 years I served in a seminary, another 3 years in MTS Namaus. Yeah, a total of 9 years. So really half. Yeah, half. I just realized, even as I speak. So in these 18 years, half my time I was teaching in a seminary or in a Bible college, and almost half the time I was pastoring a church. So it's incredible. But actually 1.5 years or so waiting for my next posting. So basically my appointment in my current pastorate took about 11 months. So in the course of 18 years, I think 2 years I practically did nothing but waited for my next appointment. But that's life and challenge of a pastor or servant of the Lord in the context of my denomination in Sabah. But to think of it, yeah, almost right down the middle. 9 years as a Bible teacher or lecturer, and about 8 years or less than 8 years as a pastor. To think of it, coming to 2 years in Indah Permai, and 1 year plus in SIB Muhibah, and 5 years plus in SIB Likas. Yeah, true. 8 years plus in total, or 7 years plus in total. But I reflected on the potential, my potential in the Lord in ministry. I think a couple of weeks ago I cited something I read about people saying that 99% of the gravestone, the tombstone in the graveyard, 99% of people who have died have not fulfilled their potential in life. I don't want to be that 99%. I want to be that 1% that fulfills God's destiny or potential. All the gifts and talents, ability, capability that the Lord so granted to me, I want to fulfill them in full or in fullness. Am I doing it right now? In fact, that's my meditation and reflection. So when I am teaching in the Bible college, I miss pastoring, because I think at heart I'm a pastor. I'm a people's person. I like to talk to people, minister to people, pray for people, listen to people, just caring for people, visiting homes, whether they are sick or well. And I visited hospitals. In fact, the last couple of years when I was pastor of my home church, Likas, I spent a lot of time in hospitals, clinics, and I took a couple of church members for scanning, for one person broke his leg. I basically care for him. And then when he was well after I returned from Singapore, I think probably 10